Yeah, post a link to this on the old chat. That would be great, Gary. Aww. What a community effort. Thank you for helping this newly born boomer with all of her grandma technical difficulties. I truly appreciate you all. IDK, it's still showing me the chicken liver stream is going, but now I get to retitle this new stream with chicken heart. And, you know, maybe I was being punished for speaking lies on the last stream, but now we are here and we're cooking chicken hearts. I've always been an auntie. I've always been that spinster auntie, you know? Saludos, California. You know, in this world of high integrity, we cannot allow fake news to be a thing, which is why I take full responsibility and culpability for misleading you all on the last stream title of Chicken Liver Dinner. I don't know what to say that can make up for my horrendous decision and mistake, and I hope you will all forgive me in moving forward into this new stream that will retroactively be titled Thursday, Chicken Heart Dinner. I'm so sorry for my past mistakes. In any case, I think that one's burning right now because I've not paid attention to it while problem solving. So we have extra smoky mole chicken heart now. I feel dehydrated, so I should probably get something to drink. But miraculously enough, I had turned the heat down on this that nothing burned too badly. And so it's all good. We're now going to turn the heat up and we're going to add in some rice water. Right. And we will simmer it. And we'll probably simmer it until the rice water is reduced to a nice, silky, barely there sauce. Like a negligee for each bite. And if that didn't give you cognitive dissonance, you're a freaky little thing. I'm pretty sure I brought my water jar in here. I feel like that's what I went out of the room to do. But I don't see it here anymore, which is... Oh, I put it in the sink. I found it. I was like, I'm not leaving this room again, because last time I left the room, YouTube decided to shut me down, so I can't do that anymore, you know. Gotta stay here. Even if I dehydrate and die on the stream, I can't leave anymore. This might be my last chance to see no one at all and talk to imaginary people in my head. Definitely not going crazy. You're welcome. If I were ever a therapist, my school of therapy would be titled Controlled Trauma. The tagline would be something along the lines of microdosing pain until you are near invincible. Flex the brittleness of existence. Test your boundaries. Be the rubber band, but pull back before you snap. Why did they burn your beans? Did they just burn your beans, or did they burn everyone's beans? Maybe they were sad too that they had to, you know, serve burnt beans, but that also unveils new knowledge about What kind of a cafe would serve their customers burnt beans? Either one that wasn't paying attention to the quality of the fruit going out, or they don't have enough integrity to not serve burnt beans. Or, they don't even give you the option of being aware of the fact that they're selling burnt beans, and would you still like to proceed with your order given that today's beans were a little bit burnt and we're so sorry but we don't have time to make another batch? Like, the possibilities are endless of what kind of business you can be. All these thoughts are exhausting to have. Oh, you're talking about coffee beans. I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Why aren't people, serving more black beans at cafes, but coffee beans? That makes sense. Yeah, then they really fucked up. Like, that's the only thing that they really are known for. That's why people are going there, for their coffee beans. IDK, that's red flag territory. Just a reminder that this soy braise has some wine in it, which I think will make it extra interesting, because I've actually never cooked my organ meat before with some alcohol. I think it will be actually a really good element to have in there, since, some people might be put off by the animal taste of organ meat. Pretty excited. This looks like a witch's brew right now, not gonna lie. Kinda into it, kinda turned on by it. Kinda turned on by the idea that I could be a witch, that I could cast spells. Invisible power. Becca says, when moving over to this live, there was an ad for careers in law enforcement, and I just had to laugh. And I just had to laugh needs to go on imaginary merch. Hat, like corduroy baseball cap hat, and I just had to laugh, like a long-sleeved shirt, like brushed cotton, embroidered with silky thread. I just had to laugh, and I just had to laugh. The "and" is very important, because it alludes to a preceding statement of, man, what else was I gonna do? AKA, I have no option but to laugh. What else can I go on? Those two for sure. Stickers? I don't know, stickers are kind of out. I'm bored by stickers. Is anyone else bored by stickers as merch? I think I would like a little smoked paprika in here. I'm gonna turn this down. It is bubbling all over the place. I think I have to clean my floors again. What is making my kitchen floor so dirty recently? I don't understand. Is it just because I'm cooking again? This is why I should use my Instant Pot all the time. This is not worth it. I'm tired of cooking. I'm tired of the stovetop cooking. is starting to get hot in New York City. So soon I probably won't want to cook either way, because then I'll just be sweating all over. Although, I was joking with Samira that maybe we could do like an organic hot yoga in my apartment, since I never use the AC in the summer. And it will naturally be 15 degrees hotter than it is outside. So if it is 90 degrees outside, it will be 105 degrees Fahrenheit indoors in my apartment. In which case, we might actually die from doing hot yoga in my place. I don't know. I'll have her sign a disclaimer. And if you don't hear from us in a week, probably alert the authorities. If you do enough research, you can probably find my apartment on Street Easy. And yeah, you can let them know. Like, yo, there might be 2 dead bodies. What up, Suzanne? I'm sorry you just came in at a time when I started talking about potential hot yoga manslaughter. But yeah, drugs don't do it for me anymore either. I feel impervious to affect lately. Like, alcohol doesn't make me as silly as it used to. Weed doesn't really make me as free and loose as it used to. I'm thinking about maybe, like, it's time to do a hero dose of something, you know? Maybe for my birthday. Maybe I'm ready to, like, die into a new me. Or tap into another dimension of me. Thinking about treating myself to ego death. Just, you know, thinking about ways to stay alive in a world that has decided you deserve to be dead. Or just, you know, normal lack of regard for whether or not you are dead or alive. So, yeah. Those are all the things going through my head. Also very thankful for the chance to still be able to have friends and see friends and talk to friends and hang out with friends and, like, be fortunate enough to eat food. I'm feeling a genuine sense of gratitude lately that, like, I feel kind of scared by, because I feel like this is the level of, like, pervasive gratitude that comes right before I die. But maybe I am just entering a new stage of life where I have been released into exhilaration of existence at a whole new level that feels absolutely strange to me. But whatever the case may be, enjoying gratitude. What's not to like? I think in about 8 to 9 minutes time, I'll set a timer for 10. These chicken hearts should be cooked enough for me to taste the broth, and we can re-season the broth as we see fit. I don't want to be consuming any raw chicken, so that's what I'm waiting for. I'm also thinking about adding some cornstarch to that one to thicken it up more. I did add some rice water into it, but I think it has been so diluted with the water that I poured into it at first that it won't reach the stage of silkiness that this one currently has. You can see that shininess. It almost looks like curry shiny. Hit up one of those ketamine clinics. Ugh, where are they? Suzanne is your mom's name. Your name is actually Renata. She passed away a bit ago, but it's nice hearing someone use her name out loud like that. Aww. Hi, Renata. What does chicken heart taste like? I've never had organ meat, but have always wondered. It tastes spongy and a little bit bouncy, and it tastes like a friendlier, more innocent liver. It's definitely nowhere near as chalky as the texture of liver. It doesn't have that insanely iron pungency that liver has, but if you've never had any sort of intestine before, or, you know, any sort of organ before, really, it's a texture issue for most folks. They have the association that this is organ meat, which is already not as popular in North America to eat. So they already have like an aversion to it psychologically. And then they meet this texture that they don't really know what to think about. So then they're already negatively biased towards eating this unfamiliar meat, paired with the psychological associations of which part of the animal that it comes from. And then depending on how it's prepared and what flavors comes with it, it can provide a lot of cognitive dissonance. It's very hard for me to tell you what anything tastes like, because if you think about anything like chicken, fried chicken versus curry chicken versus roast chicken versus chicken breast versus chicken leg versus chicken thighs, none of them taste the same depending on what spices you cook them with and depending on how well you cook them with and what method. And so I can't really tell you what it tastes like just on its own, because an ingredient has its own flavors. But you're not just going to eat a chicken liver raw, and I'm not going to boil a chicken liver or a heart. I'm not going to boil a chicken heart and just eat it plain either. So now that it's flavored, that one's going to taste like a soy based like 5-spice stew of sorts. And this one is going to taste a little bit like oniony mole, because that's what I'm cooking it in. So anything takes on the flavors of its environment, just like us. Food, they're just like us. Depending on what environment you envelop yourself in and let yourself hang around in and let yourself be immersed in, you will become that environment. Many dots, all the same shapes, just in different places. All right, I actually think instead of cornstarch, I'm going to use some oat flour, or not, let me see. Oh my God. What am I doing here? Good gracious. I have some bulgur wheat. This is cracked bulgur that Aaron brought back from Turkey that I ground up in a Vitamix and made into a flour. I have no idea what this is going to taste like. I don't think this kind of coarse flour, it feels like semolina, will break down in the sauce as readily as, say, cornstarch or flour, but it's going in. We're going to experiment with it, okay? Okay. Maybe like 2 teaspoons full, maybe a tablespoon, depending on how big those pinches were. And we'll just see how it thickens up the soup. All flours were not created equal, but can they be pinched in for others? Sure, depending on how you set your expectations and standards. Hello, vegan from Turkey. Plant-based meals. I mean, listen, I may not use plant-based ingredients, such as this case, but all of my cooking methods are easily substitutable. If you didn't want to use chicken hearts, you can put cut up potatoes in here. You can put cubes of tofu in here. You can put beans in. Literally, I'm just putting water and shit in a pot and cooking it. I'm encouraging people to use your own imaginations to sub in the ingredients that you want to see. I clearly don't have recipes for you because I'm no longer working as a recipe tester. And I believe in you. I believe that you have the know-how beyond my knowledge of your different culture and travels and exposure to ingredients that I've never even tasted or seen. So you know as well as I do that you're capable of altering this to suit your dietary needs. And yes, every meat and grain is suitable with cauliflower. I agree. Yes, let me know how lentils work. I love lentils. I have lentils. I have a whole jar of lentils. If you come up with a lentil thing that you like, you let us know. What is a good entry point into the organ world? Jack, I don't know. Depends on what you have available to you. I would say just buy like as small an amount as you can and cook it as you would steak the first time. You know, pat it dry, season it, slice it uniformly, or don't, leave it whole. But if you have a flatter surface, it's gonna make better contact with the pan, which is why when they sell steaks, it's usually horizontally sliced. And just treat it the way that you like to treat your favorite meats. Substitute it in for your favorite meat recipes, or even your favorite vegetable recipes. Like if you make a tomato-based chili, throw some organ meat in there. Chop really fine, the size of your beans or the size of your carrots or whatever the fuck you like to put in your chili, and just try like a small batch of chili with it. And the thing about any ingredient, meat included, is if you cook it long enough, it loses its own identity. Just like how we lose our own identity when society cooks us long enough. So, you know, if you don't like the taste or the texture of it, just keep cooking it and like spice it up, or, you know, spaz out your taste buds with whatever flavors you like. Or you can chuck it if you want, if you're that kind of person. I'm not. But you do you. So that was 10 minutes, which means I can probably taste this batch. That one's really not thickening up all that well, which I predicted, but it is bubbling a little bit better. Let me show you the kinds of bubbles that are happening. So it looks better. And listen, that, yeah, that's thickening. For sure. It's just not as silky as the other one. So now you know the difference between rice as a thickener and bulgur wheat as a thickener. Experiments, we all learn. Lando asked a while back, could it be also that you see so many without that you get that extreme gratitude for the experiences that you have? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yep. I see people just losing their entire families and lives and limbs and any semblance of the will to survive, and I have all of that accessible to me still. So how fucking lucky and unfair is this? Totally. That's part of it. I actually think that hearts are a better entry point than liver. Liver has a very strong taste, and liver can have a mealy, chalky texture that when you overcook it, a lot of people are not into. It almost feels like mashed potatoes that have not had enough liquid added to them, and you're like choking on this dense piece of mashed potato. So that's all. I would not suggest liver as an organ entry point. June will eat it if it's garbage. I'm not trash panda for nothing. All right, we are going to taste. This is Mom's bowl that she used to use. She designated bowls to us because she was such a germaphobe that she didn't want different people sharing different bowls despite the fact that they were all getting washed. But I saved very few bowls from her house when she passed away, simply because I lived in a tiny studio apartment before this and had no storage space. And you know what? Am I sad? Yeah. But am I grateful that I don't have all of her stuff? Totally. Am I satisfied with just having a few pieces? I think I might actually treasure them more and want to use them more rather than relegating them to a category of things titled items Mom left behind. So yeah, this is Mom's bowl that she used to use and eat out of when I used to visit her on the weekends. What up, Mom? Here's me eating chicken hearts cooked in mole that I bought before you died. What a time. What a time capsule. What a time warp. What a mind. Doesn't it fascinate you that we can live simultaneously in the present and still bring up thoughts of the past as if you were concurrently traveling in two different timelines at once? And then you add in anxiety and you have a third timeline going. It's like you edited a video and you forgot which timeline you were going along, and you just confuse yourself with all your fucking different footages. Into it. I think this could use some red wine or white wine too, actually. Should have put it in earlier in the process though. And we're gonna add some ketchup packets to it. Just because I can. Here's a little bit of ketchup. Oh, that looks so sexual. Okay. If your junk looks like that, go see a doctor. I think Mom would be high-key scandalized by the person I've become in the last 4 years, 3 years. But I think she would be low-key proud. And that feels like a perfect combination of personal success to me. We're gonna add in some of this banana sauce, banana ketchup that Samira gifted me, because I don't think that little bit was enough. I don't like glass jars though. They're very, very hard to work with. If anybody has any advice on how to do this better without getting ketchup nowhere because it's not coming out of the bottle, please let me know. It's like a whole block of gelatin that gets stuck in there. Do you see how it's lifting itself as a whole body? I don't think I'm supposed to store it in the fridge. I think something about keeping it in the fridge makes it Jell-O. Oh, you tilt it to the side instead of straight down. Okay. I think I just need to warm it up, actually. I don't know of mom's high-key proud, but y'all are high-key proud. So that's cute. That's pretty sweet. You do a slight wiggle from side to side. I feel like I would be a really bad sex ed teacher. I might be the worst person to teach sex ed. Because I would be giggling before anyone else would be. Like, I am wagging the bottle end. I think I just really need to let it warm up. See, Eliza says she uses a knife to force it out. Yeah, exactly. That's what I had to do last time. I had to like poke in there with my paring knife. All right. All right. We're gonna do this. The handle of a spoon. Perfect. That was a lot of ketchup, but it felt so satisfying that once I got it going, I was like, we're just gonna keep going with it. Now there's like a whole half cup of ketchup in there. Oops. Not mole anymore. I don't know what the fuck we just made. Here's some banana ketchup though, on a piece of heart. That's delicious. It's sweet. It's more sweet than it is tart, and it's equally tart as it is salty. Perfect balance. Brings out the organy flavors of the heart while taming it and dancing with it and saying, you should be proud to be a heart. You taste delicious. I am here to help you show the world just how normal you are because I am banana ketchup. And people think I'm ketchup, but I'm not. But they're gonna like me anyway, just like they're gonna like you. Got a little ventricle here. A little extra spring in our step. Shout out Samira for always bringing me goodies, whether it be from Woodside or the Philippines or Denmark. I think she brought me back some snacks, right? That we featured. Oh yeah, that wine edition added a whole new dimension to this. Wow, okay, let's drink some rice water and calm me down. I think I drank too much tea earlier. Cheers, y'all. Did you take your vitamins? Because I didn't. Sorry, that wasn't liver, that was heart. I hope I didn't make that. Oh my god. I just dumped vitamin C powder into my hand because I thought it was pills, but it was not. This is the danger of putting things in vessels they don't belong in. You start confusing yourself. Don't worry, we're gonna drink that vitamin C. However, I I regret to inform you that I do think drinking vitamin C versus eating vitamin C is doing irreparable damage to my teeth. So I shall now have to figure out a way to drink it without letting it touch my teeth, which will probably involve a straw. Oh God. Don't worry, I'll reuse that straw. Yeah, I have a thermos. I have my 14-year-old clean canteen that's really banged up, but it works. The color of carrots almost remind me of Japanese curry. Absolutely, I agree. Alright, what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna microwave some of our leftover rice and we're gonna have dinner. Yay! I now use a lid when I microwave things so that it doesn't cause splatters. It is easier to clean a lid than it is to clean the entire oven. Beef liver is very particular. I do feel like it has a creamier taste, mouthfeel, and also a stronger iron bitterness that some people don't like, but I tend to like it because it reminds me of like if someone put tahini and bean paste together. But with no sugar, obviously. So. All right, we're gonna turn this shit off because it's cooked and it's hot in here. Yeah, Gary is straight up evil. Folks, if you do that, you will not be here to regret it. Let's just put it that way. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown that spoon away, huh? That was kind of dumb. Alright, here we got warm rice. Small bowls to taste our different parts. First up, let's try our weird ketchup mole version. Here it is. Nice and silky. Look at that drip. Look at that drip drip. All right. We're gonna get a little carrot action, a little heart action, a little sauce action, and inevitably you will have onions tagging along. And everyone's gonna get along together just fine. Yum. What is everyone's favorite rice? If you could only have one type of rice for the rest of your life, what would you choose? Oh, I'm salivating just looking at this. Wow, jasmine. Everybody likes jasmine. Jasmine is the popular girl at school. Coach, okay, all right, Lando. Hot. Sorry. That had to happen because I was not gonna give burns to my mouth. We're gonna have to be a little more patient. Who smells like Doritos and is your favorite? I've never heard of that rice brand before. Green bamboo rice, okay. She's specialty. It's the brightest rice you ever had. We're gonna Google this shit right now. Hot, ow. Okay. No, what was it? Yeah, no ma. Oh, it's a place. Wow, the first result when I Googled that rice is an Amazon page titled in English, Japanese, extremely rare, ultra premium. And it's currently being sold 11 pounds for $97. Okay. Noted. I asked for bougie and you delivered, so. Arborio rice is my least favorite. I agree. eBay is also selling 2 kg of that rice, which is approximately 4.5 pounds, for $110. This is delicious. This is delicious. I love these flavors. I don't think it's mole anymore. It's not really barbecue-y. It's giving a little bit of like black sheep baked beans. You know, imagine a family of baked beans and you had a black sheep child in the family, and it's still giving like baked beans flavor, but it's not giving baked beans flavor, and you're like, I know you're in this family of baked beans, but you don't taste like you belong here. But you're fine too, you know, like, just, I don't know, I need some more time to get to know you. That kind of thing. That's what it tastes like. Does that make sense? Perfect with the rice. Hello, make it make sense. Still love your handle. Very pertinent. I was just talking with Aaron today about how Spotify is a company that is operating at a loss. Its income is like negative 40 or 400 million. I forgot which one it is. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. And he was like, yeah, all tech companies operate at a loss. None of it makes sense. And then I asked people to respond on my Instagram story to explain that, how it is that companies can afford to operate at a loss for years on end, and who gives them the fuel to keep going. And, you know, a viewer said, you know, Amazon is a perfect example. They were losing money in the beginning, and it drives innovation, and, you know, people like to invest in the possibility. And actually, this is how our military industrial complex works. I found out recently that it's not just that they're making money off of actual weapons sales. They're also making a shit ton of money to sell the idea of weapons they're going to develop, and people invest in those ideas of weapons that they're going to develop. And then they develop the weapons because people are investing in the ideas of these weapons that they promise to deliver. And once you've created such a thing, what else are you going to do but to sell and use them? Make it make sense. What a game show where nobody leaves happy at all, and we all end up needing some kind of pills. Brought to you by Big Pharma. 8 treasure rice pudding. Yeah, I can't wait to read the other responses to that Instagram story. I'm sure I'm going to be learning a lot. And as I find out how little sense things make, the more sense they make. Because ultimately, when you end up finding and collecting enough things that don't make a fucking sense, you can connect the dots between things that don't make fucking sense, all in capitalized letters. Trademarked, copyrighted. And then you're like, oh, this makes sense because we made this non-existent thing existent, and now we have to keep up with the lies of this existence. And that pulls us further and further away from a tangible reality in which we are focused on the materialistic needs and necessities of survival, and instead reaching forevermore into the future of expansion, development, and advancement, parentheses, towards complete annihilation. That is the story of late-stage capitalism. Cheers! Well, at least this is delicious. I feel like as of 5 or 6 years ago, we were still watching Black Mirror as precautionary tales, and now we're looking at it like it's a fucking documentary. I didn't think it would just take us 5, 6 years to get here, though. I thought it would take us at least 20, 30. But as advancements advance, they accelerate exponentially, I think. The chaos of the world made bare. You learn to eat it, or you drown in it. Big breath. I can feel my chest tightening just from that. Let us eat hearts. Chicken than our own. We are not just cannibalistic now. We are like, what do they call it? Autophagical. Autophagy is like when you eat yourself. You know, when you like bite your nails or shit like that. But like we are policing ourselves in such a way that we are eating ourselves both metaphorically and literally every day. This is like physical self-soothing right now that I'm doing. I literally have alienated myself from myself enough to be able to like make believe in a way that I am comforting myself, which I am, but it's weird, you know, because like this arm is attached to this, and it somehow, it has to soothe itself. This is what I do for grandma too. I kind of lay my hands on her like this, and I'm like, wherever my hand travels, I want you to breathe into it and relax that part. And I like pat her shoulders, and I give her a little neck squeeze right here, and I squeeze all the way down her arms. Her arms are so skinny. Her entire arm is like as bony as my wrist now. Then I pat down her left back, I pat down her right back, and then I use my two fingers like this to kind of like slightly dig into her spine on either side of the spinal trajectory. This is actually a move that she used to do for me when I was a kid. Apparently it helps my appetite. And now I'm doing it for her. I can't help but think about the possible symbolism of the exchange of caretaking that is maybe occurring between my grandma and me. And I keep wondering how full circle it would be if I ended up taking care of grandma for about 6 years, because that's how long she took care of me as a kid. And if that is the case, then we are approximately 40% through. I don't want to think of it as like karmic debt, but it can very easily be framed that way. Hi, Siobhan! Yeah, I'm not gonna touch my grandma's feet. Sorry, that's where I draw the line. Like, I will touch it, and I do touch it when I try to clip her toenails, but I put on gloves. Because she's had a lot of issues with her feet. She's had her feet half bound, so they're kind of like mutilated. She's had a lot of like athlete's foot issues, so my mom was also very, very careful about what fabrics my grandma's feet touched and whether or not we touched them. I don't know to what degree I should still have to worry about that, but I am conscious of that. And also just like, there's a lot of calluses on that foot. It's probably gonna take me a little bit of a learning curve to like touch it, but that's not to say I won't do it. I will, maybe, we'll see. Yesterday I carried a whole load of peed-on pants to do laundry. And that was weird. That was the first day that I did her laundry without feeling absolutely disgusted by it, because it's kind of like being in hot yoga where you're like a person who's not used to sweating, but you enter this room and the room just demands that you give into it. The room is like, you have entered my space, and my space requires that you sweat the living daylights out of yourself, and you can't stop it because this is just the way it's been programmed for you. And so I was kind of immersed by the overwhelming mountain, literal trash bag of peed-on pants that grandma has collected over the last 2.5, 3 weeks for me. And I was like, okay, today's laundry day, we're gonna do it. And I just, you know, that's it. This is my life. You wipe some butts, you get some poop on ya, you see some busted open arms, you handle pee pants. It's like I'm taking care of a baby, but it's not a baby, and it's mine, but it's not mine, and I care for her, but I kind of hate her. Everything is weird. Everything is fucking weird. I feel insane. We're gonna try that one now. It's reduced down quite a bit, and it's even burnt a little bit on that end, but nice and silky. You see? All it needs is some time. That drip drip. Got a little bit of charred pig skin. Glossy. Shit is fantastic. Have a great therapy session. Hope it is clarifying or comforting or, you know, whatever you needed to do a little self-maintenance. Cheers. Okay, that was so salty. Holy shit. It's that kind of salty where it stings my mouth a little bit. I was just watching the Camping Budget Eats because one of my work emails was circulating around this spice company that made a stacked metal portable spice component, and I was like, hey, that looks familiar. Do y'all remember, if you watched the Camping Budget Eats video, I brought a little screwable metal pill box on a key ring, and I packed 7 different spices for each of the days to take camping with me. This version seemed exactly like that, without a key ring, with a little bit of a wider base for each of the levels, but it was basically a stacked, screwable, portable spice caddy. And I was like, huh, that video was from 3 years ago. I wonder. But yeah, this is way too salty. And then in that video, Julia gave me the critique. She's so fucking nice. Julia's so fucking nice. All of her critiques are neutral. They just tell you what it tastes like and what the sensations are like, which is a recent thing that I learned through Instagram relationship theory therapy, is instead of issuing a complaint like, oh man, this is too salty, or oh man, you make me feel bad, you describe the effect that this event or this action has on you. So instead of saying this is too salty, she said it's the kind of salty that hurts, that stings your tongue a little bit. And that is entirely accurate because that's just what happened to me. And some of the relationship advice that I've been getting off of my Instagram Explore algorithm, which could be good, could be bad, I don't know, maybe I'm just being brainwashed, but it's telling me to not, like, you know, lunge into accusations of discontent in a relationship. When you want to talk about an issue, you center yourself and your experience, and instead of saying, you make me feel uncared for, or I feel abandoned by you, you describe what's going on within your body sensations, pulling away from the mentality and the psychological framework and pulling yourself into centering experience in the body. So something like every time we hang out, I go through these moments where I feel like my chest is tightening and my shoulders are tightening because I don't know what to say, and I would like to be closer to you, but I'm feeling confused because I don't know if you want to talk, and that makes my chest feel tight, and it makes my stomach feel nauseated a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I haven't put this into practice really that often. I've practiced it maybe 3 times max since reading this advice, so I'm probably not good at it yet. But the focus is less on, hey, this is an issue, and more of like, this is how I'm feeling, and is there a way we can work together to help me troubleshoot feeling this way? Is my experience accurate to your experience? And if it's not, let's talk about it. So, I'm sweating. It's hot. I really don't think we're gonna cook much anymore after this week. It's a little temperate. All right. So with that being said, let me see. I know that I told Aaron he can call back around now, so I might hop off the stream so I can call him and we can check in with him. But all in all, I think the flavor on this chicken heart is great. I think it's just a little bit overly salted, but I'll just pair it up with blander shit, unseasoned shit, like rice and shit. Not literal shit, but. Oh no. I keep missing the trash can. Yikes. Not only is my verbal communication going down into the drain, but my trash is not landing in the trash, which makes it all the more garbagey. One bite of chicken heart with a bite of rice. That flavor is soaked through though. Like the mole, I could taste it, but it didn't penetrate the chicken heart. But the super salty concentration penetrated the chicken heart thoroughly. So here's a tip: soy sauce. Maybe you just want to do a 5-spice red roast Chinese style organ meat thing. Find out which cultures have a tradition of eating organ meat and maybe go with their flavors just to try it out, because they probably have a history of pairing these organ meats with certain flavors. If you got the response of "that's not my problem," then that also shows you how invested they are in your well-being, right? I'm not going to stay in someone's life or let them stay in mine or give the relationship any sort of effort if they don't really care about me, or if they think that I'm burning them out. Then clearly that relationship isn't sustainable for at least one person, which means if it's not sustainable for one person, then a relationship is not sustainable for both people, because a relationship always takes active participation from both people. I have an AC in my living room. I don't turn it on unless friends are over. I don't have an AC in my bedroom. That's probably gonna mean that I'm not gonna get laid in the summer. That's fine. I did not use DuckDuckGo 2 hours ago, but it was working as of like 2 p.m. today for me. Okay, y'all, I gotta go. I thank you so much for joining me for this dinner. And I wish you all, if you're celebrating Memorial Day or just taking the time off to meet up with family and friends or loved ones in whatever capacity, that you give yourself some time for self and community appreciation. And, you know, yes, the world is not great right now, but if you have a day, you have a day. And you do with it whatever aligns with you on that day. Don't forget to take your magnesium, which is the thing that I thought I was taking when I dumped the vitamin C into my hands. And maybe give rice water a try. It's very pleasant and calming and soothing. Love you all. Bye.